Whoa.
Whoa.
Take two. As I was saying, I tried warming up my cup with hot water this morning because the coffee in my cup always gets cold so quickly, and it did not really help. It is already lukewarm, and it's maybe been 15, 20 minutes, maybe. So, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. Welcome to morning coffee time. This is completely unscripted or unprompted. We were just sitting down and started talking about, I guess, the morning so far, and then Joe's like, wait, let me put up a camera. This is good. We should just talk about it.
Well, it could be good, or it could be bad. And
yeah, or this footage may never even see the light of day. Who knows? When you feel like it, you should get a number mug. Faith got this for me like a year ago, 2 years ago, as like a Christmas present, and it was like the best thing ever. So I'll get my coffee and I'll sit it down, or I'll spend like 10 minutes making coffee, like by hand. Not here at the office, obviously, but typically my typical problem is I'd make the coffee, hand grind everything, like pour over, and I'd set it down, and I'd get locked into work, and I wouldn't touch it for like 45 minutes, and then it'd be totally cold. So if you want to make your coffee routine worth it, you got something to keep it warm, and Ember mugs are awesome. Plus, you can actually find them for pretty cheap on Facebook. So
yeah, we got one for Dad, right?
No, we wanted to. We never did though.
Oh, I thought we did. I was thinking about maybe stealing that, or not, borrowing.
Yeah, I like that scene from Open Season when the deer, I'm totally blanking on his name, like
Elliot.
when Elliot gets the coffee from the garbage can, and he like sucks. He's like, ooh, spits it out, and then it's like, ooh, and it goes back. That's kind of how I'm feeling about this, except I'm not spitting it out. We started talking because we both listened to the same podcast episode this morning.
Yeah. Which
was the Story Brand AI podcast. It was the same episode on Dan Go and his personal brand. So I was curious what your thoughts were on it.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. And for context, they were talking about, they were pulling up this guy that they thought had done a good job with personal branding and had kind of, just done that well. So they were talking about that.
They're hitting on the fact that he was like super niche. You could quickly understand who he was and what he did based off of like his name. His service was really straightforward, and everything that his content wasn't aligned about, like, was supporting all of that. So
they spent a lot of time on his naming and the fact that it was, I think it was Fit Founder or something like that, where just like the name is what he does, and so there's no like guessing about what he does. It just is very direct. And then also they talked about him being in a niche, and that being a natural filter for his content of, this is what his content is going to be about. He can rule out a lot of things just by, identifying where his area of expertise is and the niche that he wants to go for.
Our takeaway that kind of came out of that, because we've had this conversation multiple times, and I've been like back and forth on like a lot of common advice right now is to just like niche down, like go super niche. Like that's, if you're not niching, like what are you doing? And the problem is I think that there's too many of like the young entrepreneurs, like myself included, that take that advice too early, which I know is like, they probably would disagree with me, but I think the fact is like the people like Dan, like they don't choose to niche down until after they've been in the field for like a long time. Like Dan, like at least in the podcast, and like I've also followed Dan for like 3 or 4 years, so I also like know his content pretty well. Like he didn't start doing any of that until like he'd already been like a fitness coach and like owned a gym for like a long time. Like he had like basically a full career before he pivoted into doing that. And I think that the mistake that people are making with niche stuff that I've like already shared is that I think people niche too early before they actually know what niche to go after. And the example I used with you like a couple weeks ago is that, like, if you're gonna go like fish, or maybe I said this in a video, I can't remember, but
you said it.
If you're gonna go fish like a new lake, like, or anywhere, meaning like you're gonna go explore an area that you've never been, like you don't really know like what the exact spot is that you're supposed to be going. You kind of have to canvas everything and then find the spot. So I think for us, tying back to my opening line, which is I kind of have a new theory on this, is I think basically your 20s should be spent like canvassing. and kind of figuring out what you're trying to do and getting your reps in, getting your experience in. And then in your 30s, that's kind of like when you kind of have enough data to then make a decision of like, okay, these are the people I'm going after. Like, this is the thing.
Yeah, I think we've even run into that with 4th Street too, where we've kind of gone back and forth on, well, not back and forth, but we've identified who we're going after, but after doing some reps and kind of having some different types of clients and realizing just which ones are the best for us, the ones that we're able to deliver the most for and are, you know, the most profitable for us.
So all that being said, the action item that I was kind of thinking about, and I was writing about it before you came in, was I think for us with our social, because then I was like reflecting on like, okay, like what are we like what are we trying to do like with our content? Because it's like,
question.
I don't really feel like we can like niche, because like you're right, like we know who we're serving pretty well only after doing some broad work for a while. So I have a pretty good idea, and I think we both do like the kind of people that we want to work with, which is good. And I think we figured that out pretty quickly. I think right now we're just in a season of figuring out what kind of service we want to offer, which is why like right now I was like, as I was listening to the podcast, I was kind of beating myself up. I was like, oh great, I'm like kind of going back in the cycle of kind of doing everything. But then as I was thinking about it, I was like, you know what, actually I kind of need to do that in order to figure out what's like worth spending the time on again. So that's actually fine. So then I was just thinking about like the role that social and content and all this stuff is going to play into it. Also again, kind of like thinking like, oh shoot, I should probably be like being really specific and like doing really good educational content, you know, like doing all the things. And I'm not even like trying to say this to like, what I'm trying to make is, I think that for right now, the goal that social is serving is literally just to document our journey. You know, like it's actually like, this is just authentic who we are, what we're doing, the stage that we're at. Because all these people that like we like to compare ourselves to, like they did the, like they've done the do, or like they do the do, like they point, you know what I'm trying to say, like basically they've had a season of life where things weren't documented, and they just like they kind of had to get their reps in, and now that they've done that, they're able to actually like be someone that's like, okay, listen, I've done the thing, here's the lessons from it. But I think that like
for us, like at this point, we have the opportunity to document from start to finish, or you know, start to whenever we decide to finish is. But and then once we get there, then we get to start something else, and then start documenting that, and then potentially start teaching on how we got to, you know, place before.
Because the reality is, you eat what you kill, if you want to use that term. And nothing is guaranteed like month over month. Like it takes a lot of work to like get stuff, and all of it can fall apart at any moment. So which is also where like approaching business from a faith perspective comes in handy, because it's like if you're riding that roller coaster with like without like working in alignment with heaven, it's like holy crap, like that's an insane amount of stress. But if it's like, okay, I'm coming from a position of like I'm managing the Lord's business, and I'm here, I'm his employee, and I'm showing up, and I know that he's going to take care of it. Like it kind of reintroduces that sense of security, but in a way that's actually realistic. Anyways, without getting too into all that, because it's just our morning coffee hour.
Morning coffee. You didn't know this was going to be a podcast.
Like a coffee shop, like Corner Coffee in North Loop. Like what if we just set up there with like mics and just kind of just review the week?
Yeah.
Thought that'd be kind of interesting. That's like more engaging on the timeline than, you know,
yeah,
like.
No, that's true. This is this
is reality for sure.
This is definitely reality. I'm having to be a little bit creative with our space, but
yeah, there's so many angles.
We definitely could make it look nicer for sure.
Yeah.
We just haven't put the time in because we've been too busy working. So this is reality.
It's the reality of building a business.
Yeah, not crazy.
My main priorities for this week as we wrap up is moving Kingfisher forward, because I need to get the homepage designed.
Yeah.
Still a Prime Day push with Fan Pivot. So far it's going pretty good. Yesterday we did 14 units. Oh. We took bets. Luke's thought we'd end with 38. I said 32. We never knew. That felt like a bit of a stretch, but whatever. So we ended with 14. But today I think already we're at like 3 before 8 a.m. which yesterday we were at 3 at like 1 p.m.
Oh, dang.
So today's already off to a hot start. I don't know if that'll keep pushing, but anyways. So I'm staying on top of that through tomorrow. And then same day, I need to get a hold of Lenny because I gotta get that next round of landing pages built out, and I'm waiting on him. He's supposed to be sending me a bunch of like audio recordings and sentiment stuff from their clients instead of me interviewing them. Mm-hmm. So as soon as he can get that, I can digest it all and make the pages. And I'm not gonna make the pages until that because anything else would be a waste of time, and we're just gonna be redoing stuff anyways. So I'm gonna just call him today. And the things I was just thinking about is like, how are we creating unique, authentic content, which I think we pretty much just answered that question. So I think we're on the same page there. Yeah, but I'm just trying to just think about like, how are we actually making this scalable, and that just ties back to pulling me out of ops or pulling me out of fulfillment so that I can focus on like actually growing the business. So we're gonna do Kingfisher with Drew. He's gonna do the rest. I'm gonna do the homepage and stuff, but he'll do the rest of the pages next week. Okay. This is it. Yes. It's straightforward. Bam.
Which we didn't mention yet, but we did have a client that we just had to kind of, I don't know if the right word is cut off with, but stop with just because the value was...
Wait, how close is this punched in? It's okay to say no sometimes. That's all I'm going to say. That's my lesson for today.
Well, that was our lesson that we've learned.
It's okay to say no.
If they don't meet the criteria, like if your clients don't meet the criteria, even if it's enticing, like it's a cool company or something like that, doesn't matter.
Yeah, here's the 30-second. I said yes to a company that I shouldn't have, knowing that it wasn't a good fit, or it was a good enough fit, and I kind of did this because I kind of wanted to work with them because they're cool. Started the project anyways. Was kind of a mess. Did decent enough work, but it was not really like moving the way that it should, and I wasn't delivering as good of a product as I should because it wasn't a good fit, as good of a fit as it should have been. And then after dragging that on for too long, finally just cut it and said, okay, keep the other half of the payment. We can't do this as well as we should be doing. Our goal is for you to have a good website. Let's help you find someone else that can take it the rest of the way to align with the vision for the site. Left on good terms, everybody's happy. I'm staying on call to help them with the transition. Win for everybody, big learning for us. Cool.
Yes, make sure they're a good fit.
Yep.